board too, as well as all of the council and the mayor. And we have a meeting scheduled at 7:25. That meeting's been called to order. The purpose of this meeting is to conduct a public hearing relative to the fiscal year 2013 and 2014 crime control and prevention district budget. Mr. Luke McGrain is going to make the presentation on behalf of staff, and then we'll take questions from, or statements from, not questions, but statements from anybody who would like to speak either for or against the proposed budget.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Again, Chapter 363 of the Texas Local Government Code does require us to have a public hearing on the budget. This is part of the city manager's proposed budget for the fiscal year 2013-2014. It has been out on the website. It is also part of the agenda package. Just a brief summary of the fund. Total revenues are anticipated to be $13,730,075, which includes a transfer from the general fund of $1,175,000. And then expenditures are estimated to be $13,730,075 for a zero surplus or deficit revenues over expenditures. With that, Mayor, I can either answer questions or we can go right into public hearing.
All right, does the council have any questions first? Or apparently not. We've already been over it. This is the police department, Mr. McGrain.
Yes,
What we're
correct.
talking about is the budget for our guests, so they know what we're talking about.
Absolutely, sure.
This is the budget for the coming year for the police department's operation.
And it is funded by a half-cent sales tax for the crime control district. That was approved for a 15-year extension by the voters.
All right, if there's no questions from the council, do we have anyone registered to speak?
No, Mayor.
Do we have anyone that would like to speak for or against the proposed crime control and prevention district budget? If you do, just raise your hand and we'll recognize you and come up to the microphone and make your statement. We have no response. Okay. Then apparently there's no public comment. Motion to close the public hearing is in order.
Move the public hearing be closed.
Second.
All in favor, all opposed, the public hearing is closed. The board will now consider the minutes of the September 11th, 2012 meeting. Do we have any corrections or adjustments to the minutes as written? Then a motion is in order.
Move we approve the minutes as presented. Second.
All in favor, all opposed. That completes the agenda tonight of the Crime Control and Prevention District Board of Directors. A motion to adjourn is in order.
So we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, all opposed, motion carries. The Board of Directors of the Crime and Prevention District is adjourned. We'll now call to order our 7:30 meeting of the council, and Mayor Pro Tem Shane Wilbanks will give the invocation and the pledge. Will you please rise?
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, as we come before you this evening, we give you thanks for the many, many blessings you continue to bestow upon each one of us individually and upon our community. We would ask as we go through this evening that you be with us and that we make these decisions for our community which are in the best interest of all of our citizens involved. We continue to pray for your guidance and leadership. We pray that you will be with those brave men and women who are protecting us and our freedoms, and also with our first responders and police and fire here locally. That you be with them as they do their jobs in serving, again, our community. All of these things we pray in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'd like to welcome you to our meeting tonight. Also have some Boy Scouts here who are working symbols and merit badges. At least we have one or two, I hope. We have at least one, so you're welcome as well. Hope you enjoy the meeting tonight. We have a rather short agenda, as usually is the case on the first meeting of the month. But we invite you to participate and be a part of it. Do we have any citizens' comments?
Yes, sir. Aram Azapur, P.O. Box 2644, Grapevine.
Mr. Mayor, other members of the City Council with various city staffers and the greater audience present, greeting. My name is Aram Azapur. I'm a homeowner and resident of Grapevine. I have two comments I would like to bring to the council's attention. One is that I've noticed that there are some bike signs being erected at various streets, which I welcome that. I think the signs are not adequate, however. I believe the road signs need to be put on the streets as well, marking the streets where motorized vehicle and bicycles are to be shared for safety of bikers mainly. My other comment is regarding a suit I brought against the city. I'm trying to file an appeal. I've tried to reach the person who's pretending to be city attorney, as it's a long-running discussion. I don't believe the city council has properly, in accordance with our city charter, has named a city attorney, but that is maybe, I'm unable to reach that person, so I wanted to bring this matter to the attention of the council as well as the city manager, as well as the hearing record here. I'm going to file for some papers tomorrow. I've been trying to reach that attorney. I haven't been able to, so I will pursue with my appeal. Thank you much.
Anyone else?
That's all.
That's it? All righty. Citizen comments or opportunities citizens have each council meeting to make statements. They're not on the agenda. No response is expected. So we appreciate the opportunity citizens have to address the council. Next, we have a couple of presentations. The first is by Ed and Julie Stone. They're our chairpersons of the 27th Annual Great Fest. They're going to report on what's getting ready to happen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and City Council, for giving us time on the agenda tonight to come up and speak about the 27th Annual Great Fest. It's on September 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th. I'm Ed Stone. I think most know me. My wife, Julie, and we are the co-chairs of the Great Fest this year. It's a great honor to us, and it instills that community that we stayed here with and been a part of, and we really appreciate that opportunity and are having a lot of fun with it. So with that said, this year's theme for the 27th Annual Great Fest is Discoveries. And we're trying to make sure that people know and see some things that may have changed or some new things in Grapevine, and we're encouraging them to find them, see the things that are out there. Whether it's something new or just rediscovering something that's expanded or something that has a new look or a new feel. And if we look up and down Main Street, obviously they can find a whole lot of times, because we see that changing all the time. So the Great Fest has expanded a lot over the years to where it actually has some things that are actually pre-festival this year, again, as normal. But the Italian Car Fest is at the Nash Farm on Saturday, September 7th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And that's approximately 80 Italian vehicles that will be out there that people can come out and enjoy and see. The Texas Wine Tribute is at the Grapevine Convention and Visitors Bureau in the Grand Hall this year, again, September 7th. That'll be in the evening. And that even includes a new award. It's the Tall in Texas Award. They also, before the festival, we have the Great Fest Golf Classic Monday, September 9th. And that is at Grapevine Golf Course with a 4-person scramble and a start time of 8 a.m. That benefits some education scholarships to the GCISD students. So we're proud to have that a part of it this year again, too. On the weekend, we have many stages of entertainment for people to come out and enjoy again. The main stage is at the Bud Light stage, which is across from Will Hoyt's restaurant up here on Main Street. They also have main stages at the Champagne Terrace, and that's presented by the Gaylord Texan, and that's in Liberty Park Plaza.
the Cork and Cake Tavern in Pavilion there is going to be in the Merry Christmas and Clowns lot, and they're going to have a little bit of an entertainment venue there too. The Palace Theater stage has culinary symposiums and the Grapevine Opry. I'm not sure if they gave me the right notes completely on that. The Town Square Gazebo has culinary demonstrations by day and live music in the evening and night. So there's a lot of things going on for it, both the grown-ups and the kids that come, because they also have Kids World presented by Baylor Regional Medical Center at Grapevine. And Kids World is a new name, kind of expanding it out, giving it kind of a neat deal for them. There's many things that are in there. It's going to be located behind the gazebo. Legoland is a part of it, and their discovery center that they have. And the kids have an opportunity to build with a master Lego builder out there and things like that. So there's things that they can come. Sea Life is going to bring a touch pool out there. So they're going to have a lot of fun. The petting zoo and a trike corral is back there, and they have a bunch of interactive shows for them. So we do have that. One of the things that goes on at Grapevine at Grape Fest is a Grape Stomp, and you all may know, and some that have been there may have seen Julie and I there for the past several years. And if you haven't been to the mayoral stomp out there, even if you're not stomping, you should really come out to that, because that's really a lot of fun, and it's really been a nice event. But Grape Stomp goes on as a weekend-long competition, and of course it ends with the coveted Purple Foot Award on Sunday. So the culinary experience has demonstrations that are going to take place both at the gazebo during the day, as well as symposiums in the Palace Theater this year. Demonstrations they're also going to have out there, and they're going to include some that are going to be for cooking for kids and families. And Grapevine has a lot of wine tasting rooms, things like that, and obviously Grape Fest is the wine festival. And again, People's Choice Wine Tasting Classic will be in the mix, and they've added a session this year. They're going to have 11 total sessions this year. Each session is 90 minutes long, and the Texas wineries that are involved with that, there's 39 of them, and they're going to feature 145 different wines for people to sample as they go through. Obviously, we hope they don't sample every one of them at the same time. But they will have that, and then they will be able to make that People's Choice. And it's a great event. It goes on, and many, many people look forward to that. Again, the wine's classified as Texas wine for this event. They have to have a minimum of 75% of their grapes grown in Texas. And some of them are going to bring wines that are 100% Texas grapes. So that's kind of an interesting part of it. And it shows kind of how the wine industry is going. Also during that weekend is the Tennis Classic. It's presented by the DFW Hilton. It will be out at the DFW Hilton Lakes and Dove Park Courts here in Grapevine. That is on Saturday, September 14th and Sunday, September 15th. And that is a welcome continued event that we have that people have enjoyed for a few years now. The Vintners Auction, that event is going to be held at 4:30 on Saturday, September 14th. And they have previews for people to see what's going to be auctioned and things like that on both on Friday and Saturday before the event. The location is in the Convention and Visitors Bureau headquarters down at 636 South Main Street again. And those are just kind of touching on some of the things that go on. We're looking really forward to this, and we feel really privileged to be a part of it. As these events go, obviously, a lot of sponsors come into play, and a lot of help comes into play in doing this. We don't do this without all that support. We have a lot of returning sponsors. North Star Bank of Texas, they're going to be on the volunteer t-shirts. The Gaylord Texan Resort is doing the Champagne Terrace, as we talked about. Frost is a Grapevine Wine Pavilion. It's another area for people to go and enjoy some premium wines and have a little bit of a rest sometimes, what they need out there. Of
Of course, our weather is going to be probably 70 and sunny. Nice. Looking forward to that. And Baylor Regional Medical Center again, they're going to be with the new and improved Kids World, and as well, they always do the first aid station sponsorships and make sure those are well supplied, and then our city staff takes care of the rest of that. Gates are once again, they're going to be manned by the civic and service nonprofit groups in Grapevine, whereas they can come in, they end up giving their time, and then they receive back something for their organization for the time that they put in the hours. So that's where it comes back into giving back to other people too, and we see it. And we also, we had the volunteer appreciation, it's actually not the appreciation, that's after the festival. We had volunteer orientation that took place last week, and we had a great crowd, and most of them are really excited to be out there, and we had a number of new volunteers this year. So we asked about their first year, is this their first time, and I'm surprised at how many hands went up. So we're really looking forward to that, and we're seeing more people get involved, so that was really a nice thing to see. But we don't do this without these volunteers that are out here. And we've had quite a few show up here tonight. And Julie and I wish to even take that time to even thank them as we're up here, because they put in hours and hours of time to make this a great event. And I really think it presents Grapevine out there in a good way. So with that, we really want to thank you to the mayor and the council for your support in this, as well as the city staff as a whole, as that everybody that puts part in that allows this thing to happen and allows it to go on. And we just want to say thank you.
Okay, thank you all very much. We're looking forward to it. All righty, I forgot to, since we had two meetings, council had an executive session earlier this evening, lasted just a few minutes. Mr. Rumlow, any action of the council as a result of that executive session?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Then next, we have a presentation from the DFW for the DFW Connector Project Marketing Campaign. Mr. Michael Woody.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council. I'm Barry Lewis with the Grapevine Convention and Visitors Bureau, and Michael Woody, and we're here to talk to you this evening about the DFW Connector Advertising Campaign. So a couple of weeks ago, we gathered and celebrated that the DFW Connector was substantially complete. Well, for the last 3.5, 4 years, the media, and I wouldn't say they've done a good job, but they've done a consistent job of saying for the last 3.5, 4 years, avoid Grapevine. Don't go to Grapevine. You can't get to Grapevine. The roads this weekend are closed. Stay away from Grapevine. So that's our whole intent of this advertising campaign, is to counter what we've heard for the last 3.5, 4 years. And with that, we were going to introduce our campaign, which with our theme is the good times in Grapevine just got a lot easier to get to. And the goal of this campaign is to promote Grapevine's unique attractions, hotels, restaurants, winery tasting rooms, shops, and our events that are now all very much easier to access and get to. We have several strategies that we're going to incorporate into this campaign. Our target audience are adults 25 to 54 years old. Our geography is the entire Dallas-Fort Worth media market, with a secondary market of some of the key communities right here near Grapevine.
Excuse me, Barry, but I think you need to go up a little bit. I'm just saying. I think like 65, maybe 70.
I think that's dead on. You're right where you need to be.
2 or 3 maybe.
Our target audience is any adult that has a car that's on the
Thank you.
highway.
At least 16.
That's good.
Okay.
Coy can tell us about it.
Our campaign on this, actually, we launched it last week, August 26th, and we're planning to run it all the way through December 31st. We're going to do this with a combination of media types, including television, traffic radio spots, online, and newspaper ads. And when possible, we're going to align these ad placements with either traffic or weather reports, especially on the radio. And our investment in this campaign is a $300,000 advertising campaign. So last week, we actually launched the campaign with our radio ads. The radio, especially the traffic reports, we feel has been the biggest culprit over the last 3.5, 4 years, where they've said so much of stay away. So we figured that would be the right audience to get back to continue to have a consistent message over the next few months through the end of the year. We're going to run 710 commercials on different radio stations. Most of them are going to be tied exactly to either those traffic and or weather reports. Some radio stations do separate traffic reports, some do separate weather, some of them do it together, so it's just a combination of that. This is not the complete list, but these are some of the biggest stations that we're going to be advertising in. Hopefully you recognize some of those, those are where the spots are going to be. And as I said, we actually started last week. So what I have for you is an air check that ran on KDGE, The Edge, and you can actually see how they tied it into their weather report and how our spot ran immediately after that.
This report is brought to you by the City of Grapevine and the Gaylord Texan Resort. 77 degrees outside this morning. Today is going to be the hottest we've seen in a while, 99 for the high. Tomorrow warms up even more at 105.
The good times in Grapevine just got a lot easier to get to. The DFW Connector project has been substantially completed, creating great access to all of the fun times there are in Grapevine. For more information, go to grapevinetexasusa.com/connector. KDGE Hyundai now.
And roughly.
So our radio spots will actually rotate over the next several months, that each of them will talk about different aspects of what we have going on in Grapevine, whether it be the events, the attractions, the shopping, the dining, etc. We'll be doing that same type of rotation with all of our advertisements. We also launched last week our online and digital ads. We'll be doing these on several popular websites like dallasnews.com, startelegram.com, mapquest.com. A lot of people go to MapQuest and other mapping tools to find out traffic and directions, and that's a great place to go back to reiterate that message that Grapevine is open and accessible. We're also doing something very unique with YouTube. When people go to watch a video on YouTube, we're going to have our 15-second spot set as a pre-roll. So they have to watch our 15-second spot before they can watch the video that they're trying to watch on YouTube. And that's going to be very geographically targeted, so we're not getting it just anybody randomly on YouTube. And then the CATS 360 mobile network, this is a great, interesting tool. This has traffic.com, WeatherBug, and all sorts of other weather and traffic, either websites or mobile applications, and we'll be able to put the ads and place them in there as well. We're looking at, over the course of the campaign, over 1.5 million online impressions, over 600,000 mobile impressions, over 34,000 of the pre-roll videos played on YouTube, and all of these ads are going to promote the shopping and the attractions that we have here in Grapevine, such as the Sea Life Grapevine Aquarium and the Grapevine Vending Trailer. And you have an example of one of the banner ads that started running last week. Then we move to our television advertising. Our television advertising campaign will actually launch next week. We're going to run 189 commercials between next week and the end of the year. You've got some of the networks that you'll be able to see the spots on listed here for you. One of the great things that we have as part of our whole advertising buy is October 1st, Good Morning Texas, which is the 9 a.m. live show on WFAA Channel 8, which has a very key demographic market for us that we find very, very important to us. That entire hour of Good Morning Texas on October 1st will be broadcast live from Grapevine, from the gazebo downtown, and every segment, every story that happens during that hour, unless there's some breaking news, which we have to hope there is not, but every story that day is going to be about Grapevine. It's going to highlight our hotels, our attractions, our shops, all of the different fun things to do in Grapevine. We've already got several spots scheduled that the camera crews are going out in advance to the Gaylord Texan, to Legoland Discovery Center, and other places to do some advanced filming, and those will be the spots that they'll air on October 1st. Our TV ads are actually still in production right at this moment, so I don't have a spot to show you. But what you see here is what we call a storyboard which just kind of diagrams how the TV ad will start. You're going to see the car on an open highway, easy access, no barricades. We're looking at a convertible with a couple in the convertible. Driving in, you'll see the sign that says, "Welcome to Grapevine," and then they'll start talking about it. Just got a lot easier to get to and goes into all of the different aspects. And this is another opportunity that we're going to have to be able to change out the creative. So we'll have some creative that's specific to our festivals and events, some that's to our art and our history, some to the wine, some to our shopping, and some to our dining. So over the whole course of the campaign, everybody will be able to see different aspects of what's happening here in Grapevine. Then our newspaper advertising actually begins mid-September. And this takes on a whole new concept. This is going to be very localized. This is going to the Grapevine Courier, Colleyville Courier, South Lake Journal, those weekly publications in the Northeast Tarrant County area. And it's going with the attitude of, we survived, we did it, we made it through the DFW Connector project. What you'll actually be seeing is half-page, vertical half-page, full-color ads in those papers. Obviously, to get all of the text of a newspaper ad was going to be very small to fit into this slide. We only gave you just a portion of that, but you get an idea of what those ads will include. And those will run 9 different times over the course of the campaign. And at this point, I'd like to turn it over to Michael Woody, and he's going to talk to you about the cooperative marketing and partnership opportunities.
Thank you, Barry.
Well, good evening. We are excited about the program, and more importantly, we're excited to have our local partners join in with us on this so we can make this program even bigger. So what we've done is we've created some opportunities for folks to come and join us and to add on to the program that we have currently built for you, for them, for this new campaign. What we've done is we've identified 2 different levels of investment. One is at $5,000, one is at $10,000. And each of those have different elements that are associated with them. You'll see on the slide that obviously the $5,000 includes inclusion in a logo t-shirt that we're going to be developing that is that same theme that we talked about as I Survived the Connector Project. We'll also be doing tags on the end of our television commercials, a 5-second tag that sponsor will be able to present their own message and have at the end of that advertisement. At the 5,000 level, it's 10% of all of our television spots. At the 10,000 level, it's at 20% of our spots. So depending on the level of investment, will depending on the frequency that they will turn up on our ad campaign. In addition, at the $10,000 level, they'll also be included in one of the segments during the Good Morning Texas show. So again, another great opportunity for them to tell their story and how excited they are for the Connector project to be substantially complete. In addition to that, we have some other opportunities. One of those includes banner ads. They can be tied into the banner ad campaign that we've built. To be part of the entire campaign, which, as we mentioned in the earlier slide, would be the 1.5 million impressions online and the 600,000 mobile. The investment there for them to participate in the whole program is $5,300. So that's a really long and robust exposure for them. If they come in later into the program, then it's prorated. So we'll figure out what that pricing is then. Then also, a great opportunity is to add in the 20-second spot, or the 30-second spot on top of our 30-second spot for television ads. So we'll have a full minute that will run when we do have someone that will partner with us during those. And those are, you can purchase just for a week, and those run between $4,500 and $5,500 for the week. So a really affordable way to get into that much exposure. We've had a lot of fantastic interest so far in the program. We've already had the Gaylord Texans sign on as one of our 10,000 sponsors. We've had great conversations with Golf Galaxy. They're hoping to come in at that same level by the end of this week, so we'll hopefully hear more from them by Friday. And as well, we've had similar type of interest from Grapevine Mills Mall, from Great Wolf Lodge, and from many other partners throughout Grapevine. So what we're finding is a lot of interest and a lot of people excited about getting involved. The best part about the sponsorship is all the money that comes in through that goes to continue to build the program. So we'll do more ads, and we'll do more promotional products, and we'll do more t-shirts. So it really helps to make the program more robust. So that is really an exciting element of it. We are working in addition with all of our local partners to add the taglines that we've created for the different portions of the campaign, substantially complete and hopefully soon to complete, to add those onto their own ad campaigns. So we can have a message running through, if the Great Wolf Lodge is doing advertising, if the Gaylord Texan is doing advertising, etc., that they put the same tagline on the end of their commercials. So when you're seeing these different commercials, regardless of it's one that we've developed or one of their own, you're still hearing that same message about coming back to Grapevine. So as you can imagine, we're excited to get this message out about the substantial completion. We're even more excited to get the word out when phase 1 is truly complete. And the program, was developed to be continually evolving and to be fluid. So as we move through and we find opportunities, we can continue to look at how we can expand the program and get people back to Grapevine to experience all of the good times that are waiting for them here at every unobstructed turn. So there it is.
Excellent, excellent.
Okay, everybody will be excited about that. I'm sure a lot of people will be back. We appreciate it. Next, we have the second public hearing on the proposal to adopt a ad valorem tax rate of 0.3425 cents per 100 valuation. So the public hearing is open for that purpose. An ordinance will be considered on September the 10th to set the tax rate for the coming year. Mr. John McGrain.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, as you indicated, we are required by state law, if we propose to set the tax rate above the effective rate, we are required to have these two public hearings prior to a vote on the rate. The effective tax rate for this year is 33.9086 cents per $100 valuation. The current tax rate is 34.56 cents per $100 valuation. We're recommending that we drop it down to 34.25 cents per $100 valuation. And again, the state law requires us to have these public hearings to take input on that proposed tax rate.
Okay, thank you, John. Do we have anyone who would like to speak either for or against the proposed tax rate for the coming year? There's no response. Do you have anyone registered to speak?
No, Mayor.
Okay, apparently everybody's happy with some reduction, so. Motion to close the public hearing is in order before we change our mind.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? All opposed? The motion carries. Public hearing is closed. Public hearing is open now to consider the fiscal year 2013-14 budget. This is everything other than the crime control district. Mr. John McGrain.
Thank you, Mayor. City charter requires us to have a public hearing before the final vote on the proposed proposed budget for next fiscal year. The budget will be considered for adoption on a September 10th meeting at noon. The budget has been put out online. It has been distributed to those individuals that may have asked for copies of it, and we also have digital copies if anyone's interested. The backup is in the agenda packet and shows the total expenditures for all the accounts within the proposed budget. And with that, Mayor, I'd be happy to answer any questions, or now or after the public hearing.
Any additional questions from the council? Apparently not. Do we have anyone that would like to speak either for or against the proposed budget as presented, published? It's out there somewhere in detail. Online, I guess. So you've had an opportunity, if you're interested, to review it. Does anybody wish to speak either for or against any aspect of it? Any comments at all? Apparently not, so a motion to close the public hearing is in order.
Move to close.
Second.
All right, all in favor, all opposed, the motion carries. Mr. John McGrain does a great job. Next, the council will consider a contract with Mesa Design Group to develop a master plan for Meadowmere Park. Mr. Joe Moore.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Appreciate you taking time to hear this proposal. Tonight we're asking you to consider award for a contract to Mesa Design Group for the master planning of Meadowmere Park, another jewel out on Lake Grapevine, for the total amount of $43,540. This contract is funded through the Council Quality of Life Fund, Professional Services, Parks and Recreation 2013 projects. The process of the master plan of Meadowmere Park began with a citizen survey done earlier this year in January, where 765 citizens responded to the online survey regarding their opinion of Grapevine Lake parks. The next step in the master planning process is to develop a plan that satisfies both citizens and council and provides for a self-sustaining revenue stream for the operation and maintenance of Meadowmere Park. Staff solicited requests for qualifications from 8 different firms, with 6 of those firms responding to our requests. An interview team made up of 5 staff people collectively from the City Manager's Office, the Public Works Office, and the Parks and Recreation Office interviewed those 6 firms and scored them using a scoring matrix based on criteria and various other elements. Mesa Design Group is the highest ranked firm and is being proposed to you for consideration tonight. We request the approval of this contract to continue the enhancement, bringing quality of life products to the city of Grapevine for all the citizens to enjoy. I'd be happy to answer the questions you might have.
Joe, do we have a time frame for when the public workshops will be held? There's been some interest expressed about the concern for the restoration of wildlife habitat out there and the way we've lost a lot of it, and I think the public's going to be really interested in that. So about once this contract is consummated, and I have no problem with it, I'm just curious to know the time frame for that aspect, please.
The whole project or the whole master plan process itself will take about 4 to 5 months. One of the first things that Mesa will do is to get us develop a timeline, and we'll have some council workshop meetings, we'll have some public meetings, presentations to Park Board, and then ultimately the final document we brought back to the council for approval. So time-wise, we're looking December, November. Yeah, it'll take a little bit of time to get there, maybe late October even.
For the workshops to be handled, scheduled? All right, thank you.
Before the end of the year.
I'll move for approval.
Well, I have a quick question
Oh, I'm
first, if
sorry.
you don't mind. Joe, real quickly, I realize this is a professional services contract, but how did the price compare with the other 5? I don't need to know the amounts, but was it an average, higher, the lowest, or?
As a professional service, they did not solicit, we did not solicit
I know you didn't
prices
solicit
at
bids.
that time. So we negotiated with Mesa to come up with this amount. I will say that Mesa came in originally very high, and told them that, you know, they didn't have all the information that they were proposing in their original proposal. And then after having an exploratory meeting with them and showing them the research that we've done, some of the experiences that we've seen along the lake, and some of the surveys that we've done, the zip codes and things like that, they were including a lot of things from the financial perspective into their proposal. But once I showed them the various reports, we're able to generate some of the information that we have that's relatively current, then they were able to adjust the price.
Thank you very much.
Have they done work before for us?
Mesa Design actually, ironically, did the very first master plan for Meadowmere Park back in 1990. They've done some other smaller landscape projects for us. They're,
Recently, haven't they?
excuse me?
Fairly recently? These
No.
smaller projects?
No, but I don't think we've had them for you in quite some time.
All right.
Okay, I'll go back to my motion if there's no questions for approval.
Second.
Any discussion? Not all in favor, all opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Moore. This brings us to the consent agenda. Items 6 through 17 are not scheduled for any council debate. Any guest present can request that any of those items be removed for full discussion. Do we have any requests from our guests, from our council or staff?
Mayor, I'd like to ask that we pull item 6, please.
6? All right, any others? All right, items 7 through 17 is consent. Motion is in order.
Move that we approve items 7 through 17.
Second.
All in favor, all opposed, the consent is approved. Item 6, consider a resolution declaring retired computers as surplus property and authorizing the donation of Great Mountain Sister City for our state of Pentecost, West Mexico.
Before we vote on this, Mayor, I just want to mention that I think every department in this city has come up with something, some way to use surplus, whether it's playground equipment, whether it's old police uniforms or coats or things. The things that we've been able to do for the people of Pottus has been really, truly amazing. And I just want to congratulate certainly the CBB for starting this program, and all of the sister city members have grown and grown, as Sharon certainly can attest to after many years. The committee has grown over the years, and they go through a lot of effort to raise money to help the orphanage there, and a lot of the public doesn't know all this great work that not only the volunteers do, but the Department of Tourism in our city, as well as the mayor and council. So I just wanted to pull this item to thank all those efforts, and they're wonderful people. They're going to be with us next week, and we're able to give them some material things, but they give us so much more in terms of their spirit and their kindness and their love of family and of community. So with that, I would like to recommend approval for this item.
And they're so appreciative of everything we've done.
They so much are.
I
We're
was
so
thinking-
fortunate to be able to do this.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, all opposed, item 6 is approved. And that completes our agenda. We appreciate you being with us. Hope you enjoyed it. We've got a great fest coming up, so look forward to see you there. Motion to adjourn tonight's in order. All in favor, all